The impact of the recent billion-dollar court victory by country music icon Carrie Underwood against The View, one of the most controversial discussion shows on daytime television, is explosive. Not only did this case expose the shortcomings of Hollywood's media system, it also broke it. It all started with a performance that put Underwood in the line of fire. After she performed at Donald Trump's second inauguration, she was subjected to harsh criticism from Joy Behar, Whoopi Goldberg, and Sunny Hostin, three of The View's most outspoken hosts. Underwood chose not to keep quiet and instead filed a lawsuit in retaliation, exposing shocking information about how public persons are depicted in the media. ABC and The View are currently in full crisis mode, desperately attempting to mitigate the damage, with $1 billion at stake and a choice that might change television forever. It's still unclear how Carrie Underwood turned the tables and made history. Let's break everything down.
Country superstar Carrie Underwood has spent most of her career avoiding political talk, but she's set to perform at the upcoming inauguration. She said in a statement that she's doing it because the country must come together in the spirit of unity and look to the future. And lots of her fans aren't thrilled about it, but lots of her fans are.
A simple patriotic performance was the first step. During Donald Trump's second inauguration, Carrie Underwood sang America the Beautiful in front of a divided country, shocking some and angering others. While some praised her for staying true to her country roots and avoiding politics in her songs, others interpreted it as an unabashed endorsement of Trump's agenda. Even while the backlash was swift, it was insignificant compared to what was going to occur the very next day. The View lost no time in analyzing Underwood on national television. Joy Behar, Whoopi Goldberg, and Sunny Hostin spearheaded the attack, portraying her performance as a display of political allegiance rather than merely a musical performance. Some, on the other hand, took it personally and went beyond criticism. They ridiculed her intelligence, questioned her morals, and said she had permanently ruined her career. The guest judgments were more than just speculation. Some even predicted her death, claiming that she had made a mistake that could never be undone, that her music would be boycotted, and that Nashville and Hollywood would desert her. In only a few minutes, they transformed a performance into a scandal, thrusting Underwood into a media frenzy she never asked for. At first, Carrie remained silent, but behind the scenes, she was facing real consequences. According to industry sources, advertisers were apprehensive, and media outlets emulated The View's portrayal of her as troublesome. What had begun as just another job had suddenly changed into a career-changing experience that almost ended his career. But instead of fading away, Carrie made a decision that would change everything. She struck back.
Is The View link weighing in? I know you were waiting to hear what Whoopi Goldberg had to say, and I have it for you. Take a listen.
Would not normalize him. And she says, I love our country. How do you love your country and support and normalize somebody who was a convicted felon who really wants to destroy the country, in my opinion? I don't understand how you say you love your country at the same time as you normalize this convicted felon, which I can say now every day.
I agree with you, Joy. I can't sing a lick, but I certainly, and I have not been asked, but if I were asked, it would be a hard no.
Well, people do what they do for whatever reasons. It's like Joe and Mika.
Yeah.
They did what they did. They felt that's what they needed to do, and I got to stand behind them. If I believe I have the right to make up my mind to go perform someplace, I believe they have the same right.
Of course.
And so
That's
I have
true.
to. I have to support.
Of course, she has the right to do it. What an inane point to bring them all together. Like, what? She's saying absolutely nothing.
Rather than being a sign of surrender, Carrie Underwood's initial quiet was a deliberate choice. As the presenters of The View continued to publicly humiliate her, Underwood witnessed the business begin to shift around her. Radio stations reluctantly played her songs. Companies that had pleaded with her to work with her suddenly stopped doing so. Music professionals whispered to one another about whether she had become too provocative for mainstream success. The story propagated by The View was spreading like wildfire, and the damage to her career was becoming irrefutable. However, Carrie wasn't the only one. This was part of a much broader conversation about media impact, bias, and cancel culture. The fans were divided. Some stood by her side while others avoided her company. At the same time, industry insiders began to question the impact of chat shows like The View on public opinion. Was this a case of extreme political criticism, or was it a coordinated media operation designed to destroy a well-known figure for ratings? Then the startling news broke. Internal conversations from ABC officials had been leaked. These messages, which were obtained throughout the legal proceedings, demonstrated that network officials had actively backed the smear campaign against Underwood, not out of journalistic integrity, but rather to stir up controversy and engagement. According to the lawsuit, the show's producers knew that highlighting a well-known conservative singer would garner media attention, spark outrage on social media, and ultimately boost their ratings. As these details emerged, the focus shifted from Carrie's alleged mistake to the validity of The View. Industry insiders, legal experts, and even rival talk programs began to question how much control networks should have over who gets canceled and who gets a platform. For ABC and The View, the attack on Carrie Underwood has turned into a significant problem. As the public's attention rose, Carrie was also quietly preparing her next move, which nobody anticipated coming.
I personally hope we're moving beyond the era of politics where we want to cancel people's livelihoods because we don't like their politics. And whether it was the Dixie Chicks for criticizing George Bush, didn't agree with it then, and Carrie Underwood, if you have a problem, you register your complaint by not downloading her songs and not going to her shows.
Right.
But I also think from a business standpoint, it's not a bad decision for Carrie Underwood. 75 million people voted for Trump. Artists tend to skew left-leaning.
As the media frenzy surrounding Carrie Underwood persisted, one thing became clear: this was not just a celebrity dispute, it was a struggle for control over public narratives and media ethics. What started out as a slow-burning industry reaction quickly turned into a full-scale legal struggle that would change the media and entertainment landscape forever. Carrie Underwood had had enough. After months of silence, she made the decision to speak up, both for herself and the integrity of the field she had spent her life creating. She filed a defamation lawsuit against The View because the hosts and the network planned the smear campaign against her. But more than just clearing her name, the purpose of this action was to question the core tenets of cancel culture and media manipulation. In the complaint, Underwood claimed that the hosts of The View had made deceptive and malicious statements that damaged her career and reputation. However, the dispute quickly grew beyond a personal one. Underwood's legal team uncovered a trail of disturbing evidence that implied the show's creators and network executives had intended to profit from the issue. Among the papers were internal emails and memoranda that demonstrated how ABC officials had pushed for Underwood's public humiliation to increase engagement and viewing. These emails showed that The View's producers knew full well that the controversy surrounding Underwood's inaugural performance would spark a social media frenzy and increase the show's viewership. In short, it was all about the numbers. As the investigation progressed, more shocking information came to light. Witnesses claimed that Underwood had been the target of coordinated media attacks and that the network had exploited her story to promote a political agenda that was more interested in creating division than in telling the truth. What began as a celebrity drama evolved into a national conversation on media ethics, manipulation, and the power of networks to influence public opinion. With every new revelation, the pressure on ABC and The View grew. When what started out as a personal dispute between a talk show and a celebrity became into a full-fledged crisis, it raised concerns about the integrity of one of the most important platforms in American television. The case was no longer merely about clearing Underwood's name. It had become a symbol of rebellion against the toxic power relations that define modern journalism. Carrie Underwood was fighting not just to advance her career, but to change the rules of the game. And with every legal strike, it became clear that she was determined to prevail in this conflict. How do you feel about this argument? Kindly leave your remarks in the space provided below. Please remember to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more posts if you liked this one.